Today we're going to talk about how you can start live streaming with your cell phone and pro audio for under $100. Let's get into it. Welcome. Before we get into today's video, there's something I want to talk about that I've been thinking about in my own leadership recently, and maybe you're not a leader of like a worship team or a tech team at a church or something like that, but maybe you have people who you work with that are on your team that you're maybe in charge of in some capacity as a leader. And for me, one of the things I've been thinking about is in this season is really simplifying things to help better equip my volunteers. And so today's video is about live streaming or recording and getting pro level audio into a smartphone, whether you're doing that for live streaming or recording any other type of video, or you just want to get better audio into your phone through using professional microphones rather than just the microphone built into the phone that you have. That's what the video is about today, but I wanted to take a minute before starting that and really talk about simplifying things that I've thought about in this season. I've done the big running multi-tracks, Ableton Live, all of that, and I know this may not be the most popular opinion, but I always try and hold my position on things with an open hand and be open to change and be willing to do what's best, not only to grow but also to do what's best for the teams that I'm in charge of as a whole. And really simplifying our technology this year has been one of those things that I've really been diving into and looking at. So we went from a multi-computer live streaming setup overlay to really just simplifying it and using Facebook Live through a smartphone with the audio setup that I'm going to show you in this video, for a couple of reasons. One, an opportunity presented itself, not prevented itself. In a way it did, because we had some storms here in the area where I live, and basically it fried our computer that did our processing for the live streaming. So we were presented with an opportunity to try something new, and I think what you'll see in the video really speaks to coming up with a way to be creative and stay within a budget-friendly setup. And I know sometimes in videos people say that and it's hundreds and hundreds of dollars, which doesn't always seem like a big deal to some people, but to me, like, if you can keep it under $100, that's great. And ultimately we want to do what's best, we want to pursue excellence, but also work within the resources we have available to us. So I think you'll see in the video that's the setup I'm going to show you does that. And it's one that doesn't rely on one person to do everything. Really, once we have the audio levels kind of set up for the interface, which didn't take a whole lot of time, really anyone can plug in their smartphone, particularly in this setup an iPhone, and run the stream. So anyone on our staff can do it. It's not all dependent on me being in charge of the tech. It's not a make or break if I'm there or not. It can still happen whether I'm there or if I'm gone for a Sunday for whatever reason. So I just wanted to say that before you dive into the video. I've been thinking about that in some other areas too, with technology on the stage as well as the setup that I'm going to show you that's off the stage. So hope you enjoy the video and you learned something from it. Really, I think the gear that we were able to do this setup with costs about, I want to say, $60. I'll have more information on it later in the video. But so I hope you enjoy this. It's a setup that makes it really easy to improve the quality of what you're doing. Enjoy. Okay, there's three things we're going to need to do this. There's an adapter for your charger right here. This is the Lightning to USB and the Lightning charging adapter from Apple. You're going to need an audio interface that I'm going to show you here in a minute. And then also you're going to need a splitter cable that splits your XLR microphone cable into two 1/4-inch inputs, and that splitting cable will work with the setup I'm going to show you. The inputs you have available depend on what interface you get, but the one I'm going to show you is about $40 on Amazon, and I'll have links to everything in the description below this video where you can check those out if you're interested in getting started this way. It's great. You don't have to have, you know, a big camera like this one behind me. We have both here. We use them both for different purposes, but you can get going with just the cell phone here for under $100. So I'm going to show you that equipment today. Okay, so let's talk about the first piece of equipment you're going to need. This is the Apple Lightning to USB and Lightning charging adapter. I'll put links for all this stuff in the description below. As you can see, coming out of the bottom of the iPhone, out of the Lightning jack, it splits to USB and then a charging plug-in as well. And so from that USB port, we're going to go to the next piece of equipment, which is the audio interface. Okay, so coming from the USB port that we saw on the adapter, it runs just like a standard printer cable down to this audio interface made by Behringer. At the time of filming this audio interface is about $40 on Amazon, and then you see those red and green cables coming into the front of the interface. And so coming from our soundboard, we have three outputs for speakers. We have our left and right stereo outputs, and then we also have a mono line. So that left and right stereo goes to the front of house speakers, and then the mono line comes into this interface. But I had to split it with an XLR to 2/4 inch input cable that you see here, because if I just plugged in that mono XLR cable coming from the board, you'd only get sound out of the left side of your headphones if you had headphones plugged in listening to the video. So I got this cable and split it, and it has to be where the red is on the left there and the green is on the right, and then you mix the audio levels with those gray knobs on top of the box after that. But this is all you need to get the audio from your soundboard to your phone or whatever device. We are actually using this for dual purpose right now. It is taking the audio from the board and sending it to the iPhone and the big camera next to it simultaneously as we record for the live stream, and then post-production video for later as well. So that way we're getting the same audio from the same service with two different camera shots for multiple purposes. Here's a little bit simpler look at the setup from what I showed you before. Coming out of the phone Lightning jack, it splits into the USB and the charger, into your charging unit, and then also to the interface. And then from there, the cable, the split cable we have here, this end right here is where your line from your soundboard would be coming in, and then it feeds through that cable into the interface where you split it, and then goes out the back through the cable and into the phone. That's the setup that we use. It's simple, it wasn't very expensive, and it gives you the same results every time. You know, it's consistent, and it's nice because your phone isn't gonna run out of charge, because having that adapter cable that runs USB and charging will power your phone while it's recording, and it also powers the interface. So you get kind of a 2-for-1 charging there, so you know your device isn't going to run out of power while you're recording. Thanks for watching today's video about how to get pro level audio into your smartphone or whatever other device you're using. All the links to the stuff I showed you in this video will be in the description, and then I'll also put a couple of links to some different microphones you might use if you're doing a podcast or something like that. Because I'm assuming when you're watching this that you already have some sort of microphone or way to get audio from a sound mixer into that interface. And if you don't, like I said, with the microphones and maybe an inexpensive mixer, I'll put some links below in the description of that. So thanks for watching today's video. If you have any comments or questions, leave those in the comment section below. Like, comment, share, subscribe, send this to someone else you think might find help from this video, and we'll see you in the next one.